everyone, we are the group 9 now. We would like to discuss our topic entitled Rizal Goes Back to Hong Kong. Rizal left Gan for Paris on October 3, 1891 and he proceeded by train to Marseille. And on October 18, 1891, he boarded the steamer Malvern bound for Hong Kong. So the primary reason why Rizal ay umalis sa Europe at pumunta sa Hong Kong, it is because of the political difference between Marcelo H. del Pilar and the Filipinos in Spain, and to his desire to lead the propaganda movement. So before si Rizal pumunta sa Hong Kong, sinabi niya kay del Pilar na he regret that he could no longer write the article for La Solidaridad. But despite the orientation that meant the same, sinabi ni Rizal kay del Pilar na his high regard and admiration for del Pilar is maintained. November 20, 1891, si Jose Rizal dumating sa Hong Kong and he was welcomed with the Filipino residents, especially his old friend Jose M. Basa. After a few weeks dumating si Rizal sa Hong Kong, he immediately practiced of medicine to earn living, at dito ay nakilala niya si Dr. Lorenzo P. Marquez, isang Portuguese at isa ring ophthalmologist, naging kaibigan ni Jose Rizal. At he even tumulong siya kay Rizal na magkaroon ng maraming pasyente. And dahil nakita ni Dr. Marquez at si Rizal isang mahusay na ophthalmologist, he even recommend some of his patient na magpagamot kay Jose Rizal. In a few months, ang pangalang Dr. Jose Rizal naging tanyag bilang isang eye specialist at bilang ophthalmologist dahil sa kanyang mga pasyente nanggagal na in different nationalities like British, Chinese, Portuguese, Japanese, Koreans, and Americans. So si Rizal hindi lamang isang eye specialist but he also a general practitioner. In a medical profession, a general practitioner is a medical doctor who treats acute and chronic illnesses and provides preventive and health education to patients of all ages. So, January 31, 1892, si Jose Rizal ay sumula sa kanyang kaibigan na si Blumentritt sa Europe na ito ay patungkol sa epidemic or sakit na lumaganap sa iba't ibang bansa. Or parang na lang siyang tawagin nating COVID. So, sabi ni Rizal, here I practice as a doctor and I have clients. Here, many sick of influenza because there is an epidemic. Through the newspaper, I can inform that this sickness is also causing ravages in Europe. I hope you and your family will be spared. So, dito is kawiling na rin dito yung ate or magulang ni Rizal or mga kapatid and brother-in-law ni Rizal is hindi rin nakatakas sa sakit na ito. Dahil nga si Rizal had all the qualities of an eye specialist at madaming kaalaman patungkol sa medisina, and because of the many patients of different nationalities who had consulted him for treatment and to get well, so the name Dr. Jose P. Rizal as an eye surgeon landed on the various newspaper, magazines, and medical journals. And because of his good reputation as a physician and ophthalmologist, people who had same profession with him is recognized his remarkable contribution in the practice of medical science involving the eye diseases. So, may mga taong nagpaabot ng pagbati kay Rizal. Isa dito si Dr. Ariston Bautista Lin from Paris sent him a congratulatory note accompanied by a book of diagnostic pathology, and Mr. Bosted wrote him on March 21, 1892, praising him for the medical profession. And also, si Don Antonio Berhil de Dios offered him his services for the purchase of medical equipments and instrument na kung saan ay magagamit ni Jose Rizal sa practice of his medical profession. So, mga kaibigan na sila kung saan learned of his medical practice in Hong Kong and give him their assurance and financial support. So, ayon nga kay Dr. Giminiano D. Ocampo, si Rizal ay isa sa pinakamagaling na ophthalmologist at tagataglay ng lahat ng katangian bilang isang espesyalista sa mata at malalim ang kaalaman sa medisina. at maayos, no, na sinanay ng mga master of ophthalmic surgeon. Dagdag pa niya, kung inilaan lamang ni Jose Rizal ang kanyang buhay at panahon sa pagsanay bilang isang manggagamot ayon sa mata, ay siguradong isa siya sa pinaka magaling na ophthalmologist sa buong Asia. So, sa loob ng mahigit isang buwan mula noong siya ay dumating sa Hong Kong, ang ilan sa mga family members ni Rizal ay sumunod na rin sa kanya. Kabilang na dito ang kanyang mga magulang, kapatid na lalaki at babae. At sa maliit sila na apartment ay nangungupahan sa number 2 Nazila Terrace, which serve as his residence and at the same time his medical clinic.
Assalamualaikum everyone. I am Normila K. Samang. I am going to discuss the planned Filipino colonization in Borneo. With the kind of socio-political climate under the administration of Governor General Valeriano Weyler, the Calamba tenant farmers in other towns, folks seemed hopeless to have a better quality of life. So, Rizal planned and conceived an idea of how the management of these human resources could be utilized. He fully knew with empathy the pain and suffering of these poor Filipinos, that life in his country was becoming unbearable, so he thought of founding a Filipino colony in Borneo. When his friends in Europe heard about this plan, na sina Graciano Lopez Hajena, Antonio and Juan Luna, Dr. Ariston Bautista Lin, and Professor Blumentritt, were delighted and enthusiastically willing to endorse and support the project. Graciano Lopez Hajena, in his letter to Rizal on May 26, 1892, expressed his intention to join the colony at sinabing, "I have great desire to join you. Reserve for me a piece of land where I can plant sugar cane. Send me further information." For Rizal and his friends, even if the project was laudable, his brother-in-law, Manuel Hidalgo, did not approve the plan. At sinabing, "This idea about Borneo is not good. Why should we leave the Philippines, this beautiful country of ours?" he told to Rizal. So kahit full support si Rizal at ang kanyang mga kaibigan sa project, which is ang pamunuan ng Filipino colony in Borneo, hindi ito sinuportahan at nag-disagree ang kanyang brother-in-law na si Manuel Hidalgo. On the other hand, Rizal made a side trip to Sandakan to see for himself the conditions of the land and the general atmosphere of the place where he intended to move his family. Meanwhile, Governor Weyler was relieved of his administrative functions as governor and was replaced by Governor Eulogio Dispojol. Rizal, armed with an intense desire to help the landless people, was determined to push through the project. With the new leadership of Governor Dispojol in his province, fresh hopes hold promise, because upon assumption to office, he announced a new program of government. Rizal, full of optimism, sent Governor Dispojol a letter of felicitation and offered his cooperation. To his surprise, Rizal did not even receive an acknowledgement answer from the governor. Rizal's sense of values and dedication to be of service to the Filipino people was anchored on hard work, determination, and perseverance, so for the second time, he sent the Governor General another letter requesting him to allow the landless Filipinos to establish a colony in Borneo. Rizal did not receive any reply, but instead, the Governor General notified the Spanish Consul General in Hong Kong to tell Rizal that he could not approve his request allowing Filipino immigration to Borneo, and stating among other things that it was not very patriotic to go off and cultivate a foreign soil. The last letter he sent to Governor General Despujol was a letter requesting permission to change his nationality and emigrate with his family and other townmates in Calamba who cared to join him in Borneo. Pero yung tatlong letter na yon na pinadala ni Rizal is wala siyang natanggap na reply. Meanwhile, Don Francisco, Rizal's aged father, enjoyed immensely his sojourn in Hong Kong, saying that he did not care to return anymore to the land of his birth. Life there is insupportable, he added Pasiano, for his part, was occupied in translating the Noli into Tagalog. So that's all. Thank you.
I am Bainabdi Lauban of BSSW3. Rizal worked in Hong Kong. In spite of the demands of his medical practice and his project in the establishment of a colony in Borneo, it did not become a hindrance for him to continue working. He wrote the constitutions and bylaws of La Liga Filipina, or the Philippine League, an association of Filipinos for civic and social activities until its print in Hong Kong in 1892. The idea of founding the La Liga Filipina was the brainchild of Jose M. Basa, a Filipino exile of 1872. So si Dr. Jose Rizal, habang siya'y nagtatrabaho sa Hong Kong, sa kabila ng pangangailangan ng kanyang medical na pagsasanay at ang kanyang proyekto sa pagtatag ng isang kolonya sa Borneo, hindi ito naging hadlang para sa kanya upang magpatuloy sa pagtatrabaho. Isinulat niya ang constitutions at bylaws ng La Liga Filipina or the Philippine League, isang asosasyon ng mga Pilipino para sa mga gawaing sibiko at panlipunan hanggang sa paglilimbag nito sa Hong Kong noong 1892. Ang ideya ng pagtatag ng La Liga Filipina ay ang ideya ni Jose M. Basa, a Filipino exile of 1872. The most important objective of La Liga Filipina was the union of archipelago into a compact, vigorous, and homogeneous body. The Constitution and bylaws inculcated that every Filipino who had the heart of the best interest and welfare of the fatherland to promote its progress. Ang mga mahalagang layunin ng La Liga Filipina ay ang mga sumusunod: ang pagkakaisa ng buong bansa, ang pagtataguyod ng mga reforma, pagbibigay ng suporta sa edukasyon, agrikultura at komersyo, paglaban sa anumang uri ng karahasan at di makatarungang gawain, ang pagbibigay ng proteksyon at tulong sa bawat kasapi sa isa't isa. Other works included writings, The Rights of Men, or Ang Karapatan ng Mga Tao, which touch and appeal to the Spanish authorities to rectify the injustice done by the Dominicans in the tenant farmers in Calamba, while To My Country, or Sa Mga Kababayan, explained in detail the circumstances about the agrarian problem. So kasama sa iba pang akda ni Dr. Jose Rizal ang The Right. So Rizal also wrote articles on Philippine history, government, and culture for the Hong Kong Telegraph, a British daily newspaper where some copies reached the Philippines. The Filipinos read every article with enthusiasm. So si Dr. Jose Rizal, sumulat din siya ng mga artikulo tungkol sa kasaysayan, pamahalaan at kultura ng Pilipinas para sa Telegraph ng Hong Kong, isang pang-araw-araw na pahayagan sa British kung saan nakarating sa Pilipinas ang ilang kopya nito. Binasa ng mga Pilipino ang bawat artikulo ng may sigasig. Rizal also drew up the plan of modern school for the education of Filipinos, young men of good family and means in accordance with the demands of modern times and circumstances. Don Mariano Conanan of Pampanga offered to raise an initial amount of $40,000 to establish such school. So si Rizal, gumuhit din siya ng plano para sa modernong paaralan para sa edukasyon ng mga Pilipino. young men of good family and means in accordance with the demands of modern times and circumstances. So, si Don Mariano Cunanan, nag-alok siya ng $40,000 para makalikom ng paunang halaga upang maitatag ang naturang paaralan.
Rizal decided to return to Manila. Okay, so maraming humadlang kay Rizal sa kanyang pagbabalik sa Manila. Ilan sa mga humadlang sa kanya ay ang kanyang kapatid na si Pasiano Rizal, si Silvestre Obaldo at si Jose Cecilio. Kahit na marami pang humadlang sa kanya, ay ito ay tumuloy pa rin sa Manila. May mga ilan kung bakit siya bumalik sa Manila. First, ay para magamutin ang mata ng kanyang ina. Pangalawa, para paglingkuran ang kanyang mga kababayan. Pangatlo, para makita ang epekto ng kanyang nobela No Limitangiri. Pang-apat, para tanungin kung bakit hindi na sumusulat si Leonor Rivera. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Irene Pincoy, Bachelor of Science in Social Work Third Year College. I will present the last two letters in Hong Kong. Rizal, decision to return to Manila, was vehemently opposed by parents, sisters, relatives, and friends because of their fear of negative consequences he can bring out of Rizal. Rizal, on June 19, 1892, he celebrated 31st first birthday before living in Hong Kong with some of friends and wrote two letters. Now, this is the example of the letters dedicated these parents, best friend and friends. The affection that I have professed for you suggests this step and time alone can still wither or not it is sensible. The outcome suggests things according. Now, this is the example of the letters dedicated these parents, best friend and friends. The affection that I have professed for you suggests this step and sign alone can still wither or not is it sensible. The outcome suggests things according to the consequences, but whether the result is favorable or not, it may always be said. The duty urged me, so if I die, it's doing it. It will not matter. A man also to die of duty, as a principle hold fast, for head and nevermore sacrifices all justice and peace for you. With pursue that I rest my life, save many innocent